Hello and welcome. This is Tracy Wagner with Versatile Inspirations, and today we're going to be discussing transpersonal awareness. So what is transpersonal? So transpersonal just literally means what is extending beyond or transcending the person. So these are some of the things that you can encounter transpersonally. Your aura, your spirit self or your divine higher self, extraterrestrials, transpersonal or higher chakras, nature, Mother Nature, angels, spirits, and other beings, space and all its space, Earth, Gaia, and much, much more. So I did talk about transpersonal or higher chakras. These chakras are in the transpersonal realm, but you may know about the original 7 chakras. These are the chakras that are within our being, within our subtle body or our energetic being. These are from lower to higher, your root chakra, your sacral chakra, your solar plexus, your heart chakra, your throat chakra, your third eye, and your crown. These chakras, the original 7 chakras, are kind of color coordinated from what a lot of people, it's easy to remember them in the colors that they are as well. It's kind of like a rainbow. They just kind of go from a dark color up to, well, it's a darker color as well, but they just kind of go in a range of 7 different colors. So the root chakra is a bright red. Your sacral chakra is an orange. Your solar plexus is yellow. Your heart chakra is most of the time a green color. It is a green color. Some people say it's pink. It really doesn't matter. Whatever you see it as, and we'll get into why it's a little different later on. Your throat chakra is like a robin's egg blue. Your third eye is like a cobalt or a royal blue. And the crown chakra is a very beautiful purple color. Now, when I started working in the transpersonal realm, the chakras kind of changed on me. They didn't necessarily, when I was working in the transpersonal realm, didn't have colors associated with them. I could place colors within them, and the chakras, those original 7 chakras, would take on almost the thoughts that went along with colors, kind of like a color therapy. So in actuality, when I was working transpersonally, they all look like spinning, almost like black and white, not really a color associated with them. They're just spirals of energy within the body. Now, there are new chakras that aren't necessarily the original 7, and they're not necessarily the transpersonal chakras. And these new chakras, a lot of times people don't necessarily think about them much, but if you start working transpersonally, what will happen is you'll start seeing these new chakras very clearly. And maybe not all of them right away, and you'll probably start working with them. So the ones that are the biggest, now when people started really wanting to learn mediumship and psychic work, clairaudience came into being. Clairaudience requires the use of our ear chakras, and they're just within our ears, and it is what we use to hear messages. Spirit messages, divine messages, even for our higher self, we use those ear chakras at times. Now, there is a chakra that is right above the heart chakra, and it's called the thymus. And this is used to really kind of work with the new age as well. It's actually a pink color. So people that are very into working with their chakras and just kind of working on their higher self or evolution or transformation, then they're going to start seeing that thymus. And that's why a lot of people kind of get it confused with the heart chakra, which is really green, and the thymus chakra, which is a beautiful pink color. And then below that, right above the solar plexus, is another chakra. It's kind of above the solar plexus, but it really just depends. It's more of the navel chakra. So that navel chakra is important as well. It's a chakra that with the new age has, and people, looking at their chakras and working their higher self and transformation, you'll start seeing that more. Now, the four chakras that are last here, but they may have been one of the first chakras any of us really used when we started doing energy healing, or just even when we touch our loved ones or our children or anything, are our hands and feet chakras. Now, our feet chakras are always activated and pulling up energy from the earth. Whether you have feet or not, it is still part of the subtle body energy, and it actually just brings up that energy into our bodies, whether we know it or not. So it's always doing it. Now, but when we ground, we are really using those feet chakras. And so those are, we can, once we start working with those feet chakras, then we can really start almost telling ourselves when we want to bring up energy in our bodies, when we're wanting to ground, or we're wanting to just feel Mother Earth's beautiful presence. We just use those feet chakras to do that. Now, also our hands, whether you have physical hands or not, just like with the feet, whether you have physical feet or not, and whether you have physical hands or not, you are still blessed with two hand chakras. And these chakras are used in energy healing, Reiki, anything where we're using our energy to help and heal, whether it's ourselves or someone else or our Mother Earth or animals, anything. We're using these hand chakras. So that's part of the new chakra. Next is the transpersonal or higher chakras. Now, these are outside of our physical being, with the exception of our soul self. Our soul self, I put it with the transpersonal or higher chakras because it is tethered to spirit. It's tethered to our spirit self. And so I just put it in the transpersonal or higher chakras because most people, when you start working with the transpersonal realm, or when you evolve more with working with chakras or just energy, you're going to start seeing that soul self. You're going to see that soul self just as a bright light within the center of our chest. It's kind of on the side of between the thymus and heart chakra. It's off to the side a little bit, so it almost makes like a triangle with those other two chakras. But I just put that there because it always has been, always will be there with you until you go to spirit again. Anyway, so the transpersonal or higher chakras are what we work with or can work with when we work transpersonally or in the transpersonal realm. Remember, anything outside of our body. So this is from bottom to top, you've got the Earth Star chakra, which is 3 to 6 inches below the Earth's crust. So it's down inside Mother Gaia, inside the Earth. And that's what we tap into when we tap into the Earth Star chakra. Next is the causal chakra. The causal chakra is back in the back of our head and up. So it's not quite in line with the crown chakra. It is towards the back of our head and up about 2 to 3 inches above above the crown chakra, but towards the back. And this is what we use actually for manifesting. Next is right above the head, actually, and this is the soul star chakra. This is the area in which we house the Akashic records. So we can go there to learn things about our past lives, our current life, our future lives. It's all in the soul star chakra. Next is the stellar gateway. And this is when we tap into the stellar gateway, what happens is it just catapults you out into the universe, and you can let it know where you're wanting to go, whether it's another planet, whether it's the heavens, whether it's ET communication, anything like that. The stellar gateway chakra is your catapulting out into the universe. So we can use the stellar gateway to cosmically, because our divine being needs to be grounded cosmically, because we house our soul star, or our soul self. So because we have our soul self within us, it tethers to our spirit self always. And so we can connect with the stellar gateway and communicate with our higher self. Also, we can use the stellar gateway in communication with angels, with deceased loved ones, ascended masters. Any of those, we can use the stellar gateway. And it's about 12 to 14 inches above our crown chakra, the top of our head. So these are kind of representations of what the stellar gateway, soul star, causal, soul self, and the earth star. Now, the soul self has always looked like this, always has been, always probably maybe will be, looking like just a spark in the center of our chest. I have seen this for a long time, and it's stayed the same. Now, just because it stays the same doesn't mean it looks the same. It stays the same, but it looks different depending on how connected we are to our soul self. If we're very connected with our soul, and we are very connected in our transformation and our evolution and higher thinking, then what happens is that soul self just glows brighter and brighter and brighter. And you'll probably notice a lot of people telling you, wow, you just have a glow about you. You have a spark. I can see that spark in your eye. And when they say this or people acknowledge this is because your soul self is shining so brightly that other people can see it. Now, the stellar gateway is there again where we go to for stellar communication, for cosmic communication. We just go there to communicate. The soul star houses our Akashic records, so we can go there to learn more about what we can experience in this lifetime, past lifetimes, and future lifetimes. If we start working with other people, this is the area that we can go to for learning about their past lives. They take us there and we can learn more. To me, it's like a library. You can just go in and find out a whole bunch of information. Now, the causal chakra is very interesting. This is where we go to for our manifestation. It's also where the cosmic communication or the conscious communication that we have with each other, this is where the causal chakra is. We can also use the causal chakra for astral travel. This is very interesting chakra that you can go to very quickly. back in the ancient times and ancient civilizations, the head shapes were a little different. They were more elongated. And when they were more elongated, they were within our physical body, this causal chakra. And so astral travel and manifesting and things like that were very quick, if not immediate responses. And so we can get that. All we need to do is we need to just tap into that causal chakra. It's very interesting. In the Earth star, if we want to communicate with the Earth, with the earthly beings, whether that be animal, plant, tree, soil, water, or even the fantastical beings like the gnomes and fairies and things like that, the Earth star chakra is where we'll go to do that. So, working with the transpersonal realm and having the awareness of these transpersonal areas where you can go to in order to communicate in a transpersonal way is so helpful. If you've ever, just like me, before I learned about this, about transpersonal chakras and the transpersonal realm, what I would do is I would take course after course, read book after book, and it still seemed to be sketchy at times whether I would be able to communicate effectively or not. However, when you know where to place your intentions for, if you want to work with the angels, if you know that once you connect with a stellar gateway, you will be able to communicate and hear those messages so much clearer. Same with going into our past lives. You may have heard about it, and you may know people that have had clear images and clear visions of their past lives. But if we know that we need to go in the Akashic Records, and so by doing so, going into the soul star chakra, placing our intention there on receiving one of our past lives, and maybe the messages from that past life, you'll be able to get that information so much clearer. It's just mind-boggling sometimes. The same thing with any of the transpersonal messages you may want to hear or things you may want to get from it. Just by tapping into that transpersonally, you'll be able to get that information crystal clear. All right. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope you enjoyed that. And as always, I'm sending you and yours love, light, and eternal blessings. Take care.